Cole Anthony called the Orlando Magic's defensive effort on Wednesday, quote, pitiful. Pitiful. You know, sometimes in every season there is a sort of come to Jesus game. This would have been a game that Steve Clifford would have done a 30-second press conference and walked off. Here's hoping that Wednesday night was that moment for this young team.
You are Locked On Magic, your daily Orlando Magic podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And you are indeed Locked On Magic. Today is December 9th, 2021. My name is Philip Rossreich. I'm the expert and site editor over at OrlandoMagicDaily.com. Of course, follow me on Twitter at PhilipRR_OMD. On today's episode of Locked On Magic, we're going to talk about the Orlando Magic's game against the Sacramento Kings, why the Magic did everything offensively they're supposed to do to win games, and yet didn't do any of the things defensively that they need to do to win games either, and took a really disheartening loss in Sacramento. We'll talk about the Magic's defense overall and why the Magic have to hope this is their foot down moment and they get down and actually defend someone a little bit more consistently. We'll get to all that coming up here in just a moment, but before we do that, we want to thank you for making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. Whether we're your first listen of the day when we drop our episodes, whether you're listening to us at work, on your break, on your lunch, on your way home, whenever, we truly do appreciate you making Locked On Magic part of your day every single day. You can, of course, subscribe to us wherever you download podcasts, as well as stream us on YouTube. We're trying to get to 300 subscribers by Christmas. We're at 244. We're getting there. So definitely subscribe on YouTube. You can get some special content there, including my immediate post-game reactions, as well as live pre-games and some other goodies that we'll be doing throughout the course of the season to interact directly with the show. But let's dive right into it. The Orlando Magic playing the Sacramento Kings, and offensively, they did everything they have to win games. Cole Anthony scored 33 points. That's a win. Wendell Carter nearly put up a triple-double with, I think it was, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. The Magic hit threes, 50% from three. They shot better than 50% for the game. The Magic don't play offense like this. They don't have offensive games like this. They don't move the ball this effectively, this well. And Orlando did everything it had to do offensively. Yes, there were some bad moments. There were moments where the Magic weren't getting into the paint, were getting caught by the trapping defense. But offensively, the Magic did all they were supposed to do to win games. But because their defense wasn't effective, it wasn't good, that one little blip, and at halftime, we knew it was coming. We knew that the Magic weren't going to be able to sustain this level of offense for 48 minutes. That one little blip stung. And that blip came in the third quarter when Orlando turned the ball over 7 times. That allowed a close deficit, a 3-point halftime deficit, to balloon into a 16-point deficit. And from that point forward, the Magic were climbing uphill. The Magic were trying to get back into the game. And the reality is, the only way back into a game is not to outscore your opponent, but to stop them, to play some defense. And every time it felt like the Magic were finding a little bit of defensive traction, offensive rebound. Turnover that leads to a basket. The little simple things, and again, there isn't much more to add other than to say all that. We've been talking about this for the last week now, really since the Bulls game a couple weeks ago. The Magic cannot beat themselves. The Magic are low on the turnover list. I think they're 25th or 26th in the league in turnover rate. They cannot beat themselves. And the turnovers, of course, were a huge factor in the game. Orlando had 7 of their 13 turnovers in that third quarter when Sacramento really took the lead and really ran away with the lead. Orlando was just never really able to climb back into the game. And I know I've talked about this too, how there's a 5 to 6 minute stretch in every game, or 4 or 5 minute stretch in every game where the Magic are just terrible. And when they're bad, they're really bad. And the issue is, can the Magic stay in the game when they're struggling to score, when they're making these mistakes? And the answer Wednesday was no. They had their bad starters, which makes it even worse. Usually things get much worse when the starters have that stretch. But the starters had that stretch, and Sacramento raced ahead, and Orlando never could reel them back in, could never get back into the game completely. It's frustrating because you knew the Magic were capable of playing well, but time and time again, it was ducking under screens, allowing Buddy Hield to shoot a three or Tyrese Halliburton to shoot a three over a screen. It was centers in too passive of drop coverage. There's just not a willingness to defend in this game. And the scoring hid that. The scoring completely hid that. The Magic being able to score, the Magic being able to kind of keep up and make shots hid this fact that Orlando was not playing well defensively, was not getting into the ball, was not putting the pressure on. And, it's something worth discussing in more detail, which we will here in a sec. But it really just comes down to that. It comes down to, are the Magic willing to defend? Are the Magic willing to get after the ball, to get into the ball, to make the defense play, to make the offense play the way they want? It was just too often Kings players were able to get into the lane and hit mid-range jumpers. And Sacramento hit a lot of jumpers. If Orlando's strategy was to allow mid-range jumpers or allow De'Aaron Fox to shoot mid-range jumpers instead of getting all the way to the rim, they did a good job on that. He made a lot of shots. He also had 33. He made a lot of shots. And if that's why you lose, that's okay. But the Magic never adjusted their physicality. The Magic never adjusted to the way the Kings were playing. It was just it was a good effort. Again, what's frustrating is we know there are precious few opportunities for the Magic to win. Everybody knows, that includes the players, that it takes a lot for this team to win. That they have to be really dialed in. They have to be really on their game to win games, even against under 500 opponents like the Kings. So it's really frustrating when the Magic do a lot of things that they don't normally do, and put in the effort to win games, and yet they are unable to do so. And a lot of it's self-inflicted at this point. It's okay if the Magic lose because they don't have the talent, because teams are really able to get into them. I would, again, credit, they played well. I don't think Sacramento did very much to beat the Magic. And again, that's not a knock on Sacramento. They did what the Magic gave them. The Magic gave them a lot. The turnovers, I think Sacramento did a good job increasing their defensive pressure in the third quarter, and Orlando didn't seem ready for it. It seemed like they were ready for a track meet. Sacramento defended for 5 minutes, and that was the game. Literally, that was the game. And it's just, it's frustrating for me. It's frustrating watching that, knowing Orlando is indeed capable of winning these games, of doing what they're supposed to do. And yet, they're not able to get it done. The Houston game should have been a win. They all know it. Turnovers were the crime there, as was the defense. Eric Gordon's game-winning shot last Friday was the exact same kind of play that De'Aaron Fox did time and time again in this game. Just getting into the lane, hitting that floater over the defense, or giving up ton of turnovers in that game, offensive rebounds. The Magic have had these opportunities to win games. And they have to hope that this is a growth moment, that this is a moment where they can indeed get better. We'll go through the final box score, talk a little bit more about some of the defensive struggles coming up here in just a moment. But first, a quick word from our pals at Shopify. We all love the sound that cash register makes. It tells us we've made another sale, another check to us. Get those checks. It's the sound of another sale on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. In case you don't know, Shopify is a complete commerce platform that lets you start, grow, and manage a business. The subscription-based software allows anyone to set up an online store and sell their products. Shopify store owners can also sell in physical locations using Shopify POS, their point-of-sale app, and accompanying hardware. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big businesses, so upstarts, startups, and established businesses alike can sell everywhere, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed. Scaling your business is a journey of endless possibility, and Shopify helps you make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. I love how Shopify has the tools and resources that make it easy for any business to succeed, from down the street to around the globe. Shopify powers more than 1.7 million businesses from first sale to full scale, reaching customers online and across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integrations and apps, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and more. It allows you to gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond. Go to shopify.com/lockedonnba, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/lockedonnba right now. Again, that's shopify.com/lockedonnba. Today's podcast also brought to you by TrueBill. Do you know why free trials renew without your consent? It's a business scam out to get you. Don't let greedy corporations pocket your money. Download TrueBill to take control of your subscriptions. TrueBill is the new app that helps you identify and stop paying for subscriptions you don't need, want, or simply forgot about. On average, people save up to $720 per year with TrueBill. Because companies make subscriptions hard to cancel, TrueBill makes it incredibly simple. Just link your accounts and TrueBill will cancel your unwanted subscriptions in one tap. And your TrueBill concierge is there when you need them to cancel unwanted subscriptions so you don't have to. TrueBill has more than 2 million users and helped save them more than $100 million. Don't fall for subscription scams. Start canceling today at truebill.com/lockedonnba. Again, go right now, truebill.com/lockedonnba. It could save you thousands a year. truebill.com/lockedonnba. We want to thank you again for making Locked On Magic part of your day every day, whether you're listening to us at work, whether you're on your way home, whether you're workout, whether you're on your break. We truly appreciate you making Locked On Magic part of your day every single day. Thanks again for staying up with us on the West Coast for the late West Coast games and joining us here in the mornings as we recap these games while the Magic are on the road. You can, of course, subscribe to us wherever you download podcasts, as well as stream us on YouTube. Let's run through the final box score real fast as the Orlando Magic fall to the Sacramento Kings. Again, you're going to find a lot of really good performances here. Offensively, Orlando did everything they are supposed to do. Cole Anthony, 33 points, 12 for 22 shooting, 60 on the arc, 8 assists for him. Cole was really good. After a really rough game in San Francisco against the Warriors, Cole Anthony delivered in every way imaginable, delivered in every way the Magic need him to deliver. He was absolutely incredible in this game, offensively at least. He was able to get to his spots in the same way that De'Aaron Fox was. He was able to hit his shots and hit his three-pointers. It was a great offensive game, and typically when Cole has these kinds of offensive games, the Magic win. And the Magic typically win running away. This was a really strong effort from Cole Anthony in this one. The only problem, 3 turnovers. He had 2 of those. He had 2 of the 7 turnovers in the third quarter. That part was rough. And Cole, I think he would say that he needed to do a better job helping on the glass. He only had 4 rebounds. He takes a lot of pride in his rebounding. But I really can't complain too much about Cole on this one. The only other complaint that I might have is he was really kind of soft on his defense on De'Aaron Fox, really going under screens, or with Tyrese Halliburton actually going under screens, just not, I don't know if that was the game plan or not. Certainly with De'Aaron Fox, you don't mind going under screens, trying to force him to shoot. He made his shots, so kudos to him. I think you got to see the Magic be a little bit more physical on the perimeter in those situations. But other than that, Cole Anthony, another all-star level performance from him. Another all-star level performance for Wendell Carter too. 19 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists for Wendell, 7 for 14 shooting, 4 for 6 from the foul line. Wendell Carter is really good, y'all. And again, he does so many good things on the floor. And was just solid. Orlando ran a lot of their offense through him. They ran him out of the high post, using a lot of dribble handoffs, letting him make decisions, letting him make plays. And there's a lot of trust in him to make those plays. And I think that's really a big growth area for him. If there's one thing Wendell Carter should probably be working on in the offseason, it's his passing. It's his ability to move the ball. It's his ability to find cutters to keep the ball moving. Doing that's going to help him and help this team grow tremendously. He was really good. Again, only issue 4 turnovers. He had, I think, 2 of those 4 turnovers in that third quarter as well. Some of them just trying to pass to a cutter that didn't cut. Some of it just kind of lazy catching and lazy protection of the ball in that third quarter. So, that's the only knock I have on him. Maybe he was a little over aggressive chasing blocks or having to guard guys who get into the paint. That's part of the tough decision-making that comes with that. I think the Magic's drop coverage was a little soft all game. Mo Bamba was kind of flying around trying to block shots too much a little bit too. He did have 4 blocks in the game, but sometimes that does take him out of position. 14 points for Mo Bamba, 14 points, 8 rebounds for Mo Bamba. So nice game from him as well. Franz Wagner, we love this kid. 19 points, 5 for 10 shooting, 2 for 2 from deep, 7 for 7 from the foul line, 6 rebounds for him. Really good defense. Did a great job on Harrison Barnes. Did a great job on Buddy Hield when he was matched up. It's hard to dislike. It's really hard to dislike Franz Wagner. He's just always in the right spot, and you trust him on the ball. You trust him to make good decisions. That's really something incredible to say about a rookie player. Gary Harris, 16 points, 7 for 12 shooting, 2 for 6 from beyond the arc, 2 turnovers for him. Sometimes Gary Harris still makes bad decisions and still takes some bad shots, but I think we're getting to a point now where we're 6 games here where Gary Harris has been really good. Efficient, shooting the ball well, making 3-pointers, generally making good decisions, getting to the basket, making shots and scoring. I'm not ready to completely say that we can forget the first 15 games of the season for him. But we are at a point where Gary Harris is playing some really good basketball. And some of the criticisms that I still see fans throwing his way or saying, oh, he shouldn't be starting, I think we got to put that to rest. He's a veteran. We know what we're getting from him. We know he's consistent. He is delivering for this team. He is delivering in so many ways for this group. And I think that Gary Harris should be gaining a lot more trust. He is playing really, really well right now. And again, I still get people who say, like, should RJ Hampton get his minutes? Should RJ Hampton start? And my answer is just plainly no. Gary Harris is a better player. Gary Harris is delivering right now for this team. And so, again, I'm not saying don't be free of, he's not free of criticism. Certainly had a really difficult start to the season. I still think he sometimes takes some bad choices or some bad shots, but he's delivering right now. He's scoring and producing, and you can't deny that. Off the bench, a couple of really nice performances. Terrence Ross, 17 points, 6 for 13 shooting, 3 for 8 from deep. Terrence Ross was in his bag. He had a nice dunk, which is nice to see. An angry dunk at that. He's starting to get his rhythm again offensively. And I think, like Gary Harris, we're starting to see Terrence Ross find his comfort with this offense and begin to find a rhythm to get himself going. And obviously that will help Magic tremendously. Robin Lopez, the only player on the Magic with a positive plus-minus in this game. Robin Lopez gets the call, scores 11 points on 5 for 6 shooting, 5 rebounds, all offensive rebounds. That hook shot was working perfectly. In fact, his only miss was a block on that hook shot. That hook shot was working perfectly. He was able to get to the basket for offensive rebounds and finish putbacks. Just really good hustle from Robin Lopez. His drop was a little passive. That's my only thing against him, but he obviously doesn't have the foot speed to do a whole lot more. It's good to know that you can rely on Robin Lopez. I don't think he'll play every game. I don't think we'll see him play against the Clippers. But this was a game that the Magic designated to play Robin Lopez. It was a good call by Jamal Mosley. Lopez delivered. Really just great scoring, great effort from him there. Again, a lot of people are still hitting me up about Chuma Okeke and RJ Hampton. They combined to go 0 for 9, 0 for 3 from the floor. RJ Hampton, the only one to score with 1 point. They didn't turn the ball over much. But I have to say, Chuma Okeke's decision-making and his reads in this offense have not been great. He is not shooting the ball particularly well, just not taking good shots. And so I think the Magic need to reset him a little bit. RJ Hampton, he just continues to be very hot and cold. Again, nothing wrong with that. He's young. He's going to be that way. The good is very good. The bad can be very bad. He really struggled bringing the ball up the court, especially against Davion Mitchell. Magic ultimately trusted the initiating role to Franz Wagner when he was in the game. The Magic shoot 49.5% from the floor, 47.1% from three, 18 for 23 from the foul line. They do get 17 offensive rebounds, which is more than Sacramento. But again, it just felt like Sacramento's offensive rebounds were much more impactful. They did have the Kings had 17 second chance points off their 12 offensive rebounds. They scored 14 points off 13 Magic turnovers. Again, those 7 turnovers in the third quarter were the difference in the game. Really just kind of changed the whole tenor and attitude of the game. Sacramento gets 33 points from De'Aaron Fox, 18 points, 11 assists from Tyrese Halliburton, 18 points off the bench from Davion Mitchell, 14 points from Tristan Thompson, who stepped in for Rashawn Holmes after he was knocked out of the game, and 16 points each from Terrence Davis and Harrison Barnes. The Kings shoot 54.6% from the floor, 44.1% from beyond the arc. Again, you look at these. The Kings scored at least 30 points in all 4 quarters. 38 points in the first, Magic scored 36. 32 points in the second, Magic scored 31. Each team scored 38 points in the fourth. The difference in the game, Sacramento outscores Orlando 34-25 in that third quarter. The Magic offense just went to sleep for 5 minutes. Those turnovers really killed them, and that was the game. So obviously the Magic want to see better defense. That's what they want to be about, and that was really what the talk was after the game. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up here in just a moment. But first, look, if you've never worn a good sock, you don't know what you're missing. Look, Stance apparel, you see it out there. It's been kind of talked a little bit about in NBA circles. It's been used as an NBA advertiser before. You think a sock doesn't make a difference. You think performance wear doesn't make a difference, especially for a regular person like you or me. But the reality is this stuff works because it's comfortable. You don't feel good. You can't perform your best if you're not comfortable. And Stance has launched a new line of active apparel to make you perform and feel your best. It's holiday gifting time, and Stance is the coolest gift you can give. These products are incredibly comfortable and well made, from their socks, shirts, joggers, and hoodies. It's truly different than anything else you felt. I was a skeptic. I was a skeptic about Stance, about this stuff. I was just like, oh, it's just a sock. I'll just buy the normal socks that come in those big bags that they're all the same. No, the reality is this stuff is truly, truly different. And I remember the first time I stepped into a Stance sock, you could feel the difference. You can feel the difference. Truly, truly, truly. Founded in 2009, Stance Apparel, radical reinvention of socks, underwear, and active apparel with a sharp focus on comfort, quality, and creativity. Stance brings an atypical aesthetic alongside some of pop culture's hottest collaborators for the ultimate in style and self-expression. Because everything you wear should be a direct extension of who you are and how you feel. You can get designs from almost anything. Star Wars, The Goonies, The Office, Harry Potter, Disney, Marvel, and of course, the NBA. Truly, 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 getting into a Stance sock is a different feel. It literally feels like you are walking on pillows. Truly does. But you still have the feel and grip to move and perform at the highest levels. Stance socks are the highest quality sock I have ever worn. And again, you can truly, truly feel the difference. Stance believes that the perfect fit matters more than fitting in, that those who feel good do good. So go see for yourself. Register for an account at stance.com and get 15% off your first purchase. Use promo code LOCKEDON at checkout to apply. Enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary with Stance. The talk after the Orlando Magic's loss to the Sacramento Kings was all about the defense. Jamal Mosley is a very upbeat guy, and he's had to be. Part of, I think, the public stance that he has taken is he's going to focus on the wins, on the little wins, on the positive moments from this team. This could have been a moment to do that with the way the offense played, with the way that the Magic's offense shook out in this one. But that's not what he wants this team to be about. And I think for the first time all year, we got to see that in a big moment, that he is indeed thinking about the big picture of what he wants his team to be. And in this big moment, he understood his team did not perform anywhere near the standard that he wants them to be. And to make that point clear, the Magic players also seem to believe that as well. Cole Anthony's still out of breath in his post-game press conference. Really, out of breath in his post-game press conference, really made it clear that defensive effort was pitiful. When I or one of the other reporters listed, asked what specifically did the Magic need to do better, and he would just say, all of it, all of that. We need to be better at all of it, be more physical, be more precise with their rotations, help each other out, kind of be on the same page defensively. The bottom line is this, and everyone in the league and everyone on the team knows it. This team's supposed to be about its defense. Jamal Mosley is a defensive coach. And if they're going to win games, they're not going to do it by outscoring teams. They're not going to do it by getting sucked into a track meet like they did on Wednesday. They're going to do it by getting stops, by crawling into the ball, by being physical. And this team has shown a desire and a willingness to do it. And right now, they just aren't. The Magic have been near the bottom of the league in defensive rating all year. They are officially now last in the league in defensive rating, giving up 113 points per 100 possessions. Obviously, the game against the Golden State Warriors didn't help. Obviously, this game didn't help. But there have been so many games where the Magic have simply let go of the rope. And I don't think we're at the point where we can say the Magic are fine in the half court when they get set anymore. Because you don't fall this low in the defensive rating numbers if you're decent at your half-court defense. The Magic just aren't playing with the defensive pride that they need to play with. And that's the truth. Orlando knows it can be a lot better. Orlando knows that it can and must play better defensively. But they know that this has to be part of who they are. This part of what's going to make them successful, as Jamal Mosley said and has said throughout the course throughout the league, defense travels. You want to win games on the road. You want to win games. You win tight games. You want to come back from deficits. You want to build 20-point leads. It doesn't start with your offense. Yeah, you got to score to get there, but it starts with your defense. The Magic are not defending at a high level right now. They know it. They didn't defend at a high level at all against Sacramento. Just again, 5 minutes of defense would have been enough. This game really turned on that. This 5 minutes of defense, 5 minutes of good defense, getting stops, getting into the ball, being physical, dictating the terms of engagement. The Magic were doing that. This game was played at Sacramento's pace the entire time. Sacramento wants to get up and down. Sacramento's not a good defensive team. They know it. Their identity is offense. They beat you by speeding you up, by pushing the pace, by betting we can go fast for 48 minutes and you can't. They won that bet on Wednesday. The Magic have to find their identity. And if there's been a frustrating part of the way the Magic have played to start this season, it's been that their identity has not become apparent. They want to be a defensive team. That's great. Be it. This team ain't scoring enough. And right now, the Magic are last in the league in net rating, last in the league in offensive rating, last in the league in defensive rating. They're not last in the league offensive rating, but they're close. The Magic have to be a lot better. And again, we're not expecting wins. We're not expecting necessarily that they're going to win, but if they want to compete, if they want to have chances to win games, they know it has to start defensively. They had a winnable game on Wednesday. Again, no offense to the Kings. The Kings won. They deserved to win. They played really well. Magic had a winnable game. And Orlando beat itself as much as Sacramento did. And eventually the Magic are going to have to find their identity, find who they are if they want to grow the way they want to grow. I want to thank you all again for listening to today's episode of Locked On Magic. Of course, find us on Twitter at Locked On Magic. Subscribe to the podcast and Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Himalaya, Google Play, Spotify, Odyssey, all the fun places to download podcasts to your podcast-enabled listening device. You can find me on Twitter at PhilipR_MD. And of course, for the latest on the Orlando Magic, be sure to check out OrlandoMagicDaily.com. You can, of course, follow us there on Twitter at OMagicDaily. Don't forget as well to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get this in video form if you would like, plus some other great goodies as well. Now that you're done listening to us, be sure to check out the Locked On Bets podcast, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets, hosted by your boy Q, with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. It's free and available on all platforms. That's going to do it for me today, though. I want to thank you all again for listening to today's episode of Locked On Magic. For Orlando Magic Daily and Locked On Magic, this has been Philip Rossman-Reich. We'll see you all again next time for another episode of Locked On Magic.